Hey, you guys. How are you? I really want us to come to an understanding of who Peter is. When he's sitting in this courtyard denying Jesus, Peter is actually a man in covenant with his wife. So he has to think about the house. He has to think about the people at home. So the cancel culture and the co-signing crow in the courtyard with a covenant man named Peter is what I would title this. But not really, because I actually have a whole nother point. But I also have a question in regards to this rooster. I have a question in regards to the crow in the biblical text. Now, cockcrow is the time at which a cock normally crows. Daybreak, dawn. But cocks also crow as a means of communication. Crowing can be used to communicate warnings, dominance, and presence. These roosters are trigger happy. They're kind of like us. They're trigger happy. They see something and it bothers them and they go to crowing. But the question I want us to answer today is this. What is the difference between the crowing of the rooster and the rooster crows? What is the difference between the crowing of the rooster and the rooster crows? Well, we find the difference to this question in the biblical text. We actually go to Mark, because there's one time in the text. There's this one time in the text, one time in the entirety of the word where this crowing is not about Peter. So before we get started into a study of Peter, I would like for us to take a look at Mark 13:35 to be exact. Mark 13:35. Let's read it in the NASB version of the text. I'm not sure how these little things are going to work out for me. So far, not so good. But Mark 13:35. Let's read in the NASB version of the text. Let's read. Therefore, be on alert, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, whether in the evening, 1, at midday, 2, or when the rooster crows, 3, or in the morning. In case, 36 goes on to say, in case he should come suddenly and find you asleep. What I say to you, I say to all, be on alert. This is what Jesus says in Mark 13:35. So let's look at it in the NIV version of the text, the NIV. Let's see what the NIV says about being alert. That involves the communication of a trigger happy rooster. They're all trigger happy, okay? Lights come into the courtyard or the field and they crow. They are trigger happy, kind of like we are right now. Because we're trigger happy right now. Because we got a lot coming at us. A lot of lights, a lot of words, a lot of stuff. So most of us are kind of trigger happy right now. So, NIV, Mark 13:35. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know when the owner of the house will come back, whether in the evening, 1, at midnight, 2, or when the rooster crows, 3, or at dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. Watch, alert, equals the NASB. Watch, the NIV. And the NIV says, don't let him find you sleeping. You know, if you're on the rooftop, stay there. Don't let him find you sleeping. The ESV, let's read, 1335, quickly. Therefore, stay awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, 1, or at midnight, 2, or when the rooster crows, 3, or in the morning, lest he comes suddenly and find you asleep. And what I say to you, I say to all, stay awake. The ESV, to stay awake. Okay, finally, let's read the CSB. Mark 13:35. It is like a man on a journey who left his house. Is that right? No. 35, here we go. Therefore, be alert, since you don't know when the master of the house is coming, whether in the evening or at midnight or at the crowing of the rooster or early in the morning. Otherwise, when he comes suddenly, he might find you sleeping. We don't want to be found sleeping. And what I say to you, I say to everyone, be alert. Okay, so the NASB and the CSB both say be alert. The NIV says watch. The ESV says stay awake. Watch, stay awake, be alert. Because we don't know. We have no idea. In the book of Revelation, when Jesus says, I come quickly, that quickly translates to without notice. Suddenly, without notice. So, before we dive into the book of Peter, I just wanted us to spend just a little bit of time talking about the rooster. He's kind of like, not really, but he's trigger happy. So we need to be alert like a rooster. You know, a lot of people are using the term with our head on a swivel. But the rooster is a protector. The rooster is watchful. The rooster stays out in the barnyard listening and noticing at any given moment something different in the atmosphere. This is Sonia signing out for Keyword Bible Studies, the one and only Jesus.com and the BibleStudyStudio.com. Have a blessed day in the Lord.